During the civil rights movement of the 1960s, Bill Phillips didn't just speak out against discrimination. He earned his place at City Hall and made a difference every day. Politics was neither the beginning nor ending point of Phillips' career, but his timing was impeccable. His city council victory in 1963 marked the first time a black person has succeeded in a local election. And as the nation came to grips with past and current discrimination and social justice made headway in the courts, Phillips was already hard at work on legislation to make those changes real here. Born July 16, 1925, William O. Phillips was the first of 5 children born to Irvin and Annie. He played football and wasn't faced with the issue of segregation until after his graduation from Elkhart High School. 2 months removed from high school, during World War II, Phillips was drafted into the Navy and assigned to Great Lakes Naval Station for training. His unit was all black, except for the white company commander. While Phillips was bright and talented, earning his assignment in air traffic control in the North Pacific, he was not allowed to enter officer training school because of the color of his skin. Following the war and his honorable discharge, Bill Phillips began his work career in quality control at XL Corps. He joined the Elkhart Jaycees, a service organization he later credited with building his leadership skills, and twice earned distinction as an outstanding director with the group. In 1960, he and his young family purchased a house at Garfield and Benham. They were the first black family to buy a house south of Indiana Avenue in the Benham West area. Years later, Phillips told an Elkhart Truth reporter, "I have never heard anything negative from any neighbors or anything. Elkhart, in my opinion, has always been just about one step ahead of many communities. Racism," he said, "certainly held down other members of my family. I am sure of that. It held down dear friends. I am sure of that. But personally, I have been fortunate." In 1963, community leaders started a conversation that led to Phillips' eventual entry into politics. While he would take criticism for his choice, Phillips entered the 5th District City Council race as a Republican despite his strong ties to the labor movement and work with Congressman John Bradmus. All Phillips asked of Republican leaders was that the party not back another candidate as his primary challenger. He wanted the black residents of Elkhart to see someone that looked like them and would represent them on the November ballot. Bill Phillips won the general election and in January 1964 was sworn in as Elkhart's first black councilman. Within his first 2 years, he fought for the establishment of a civil rights commission based at City Hall and became a charter member of that group. He put forward legislation to require minimum housing standards and inspections for all owner-occupied and rental dwellings. He became vice president of the council and chairman of the powerful Finance Committee and won re-election in 1967. The following year, he fought for an ordinance to prevent home sellers from discriminating against their buyers. He also pressed for legislation banning employment discrimination. This legislative work placed Phillips ahead of the curve as courts scrambled to address similar discriminatory practices. Mayor John Weaver brought Phillips into his administration in 1969, appointing him the first full-time airport manager. With his naval training and a strong background in finance, Phillips oversaw the growth of the facility, tripling its profits and securing up to $400,000 in federal grants. Phillips' work brought bipartisan praise, but Weaver chose not to seek a third term in office, and the new mayor applied pressure to make his own appointment to airport manager. Phillips resigned of his own choosing in August 1972 and drew praise from Airport Board Chairman Paul Pressler. He credited Phillips' devotion to duty, his ability in dealing with various federal government regulatory agencies, and his leadership in developing an excellent airport for the city of Elkhart. But Bill Phillips was not done yet working for the people of Elkhart. After leaving the airport, Phillips joined St. Joseph Valley Bank, later NBD. He rose to vice president and started their small business commercial loan department. Meanwhile, he served on the boards of Elkhart General Hospital, the Salvation Army, the NAACP, the Elkhart Rotary Club, and more. Phillips' lifelong work was recognized with the Louis S. Armstrong Award for Business and Economics by IUSB and honors from Black Expo and the Urban League. He eventually retired and began traveling the globe, and took pride in always having friends wherever he landed. In 2005, Phillips received the United Way's Arthur J. DCO Award as Volunteer of the Year. When Bill Phillips passed away on October 27, 2012, Elkhart Mayor Dick Moore, a Democrat, remembered his Republican colleague as a great community contributor. Moore said, "He was very broad-minded, very open-minded about things. Bill recognized when somebody was doing a good job, and doing it well, regardless of the politics. He was one of those guys they'd like to have in Washington today, who could come to the middle of the road and talk to anybody." Bill's son Kerry said, "My father was receptive to people based on just their character, and to that extent, he didn't care about race. I was always amazed at how much my father really loved this community. I was always proud of him, how he carried himself, and the concern he showed for the community, and his willingness and eagerness to work in the community in so many capacities geared toward making Elkhart a better place."